The tournament arc has been and continues to be a consistent element in anime, and even though I'm sure that we've seen multiple shows that have one, they still manage to be one of the most entertaining and fun to watch aspects. Now, I'm sure many of you will argue that this particular element is just an overused cliche, especially in the shounen genre. However, as I watched the most recent episodes of My Hero Academia, I sat there completely hooked and fully entertained for the entirety of the episode. So I wondered to myself, even though I've seen this overused tournament plotline over and over again, why am I still so intrigued by it? Now, before I get into why I think that My Hero Academia's tournament arc is different enough to completely garner the attention of the viewer, let's first take a look at some tournament anime from the past few seasons that were fairly successful. It seems that almost every sports anime succeeds in achieving a high rating from the fans. Kuroko no Basket, Ace no Diamond, or the more recent Yuri on Ice and Haikyuu. All similar tournament plotlines, but different enough to deliver that same sense of entertainment. Even Shokugeki no Soma, a show that revolves around cooking, managed to deliver one of the most interesting anime experiences that I've seen to date. And the reason for this is because it combines the entertainment that comes from the tournament plotline with a unique topic that hasn't been seen before. Now, if we shift over to the shounen genre, we'll see that achieving a high rating requires a little bit more finesse. The number of Battle High School tournament-style anime that we have been given over the past year is a little bit ridiculous, and it was bound to eventually leave behind a stale taste. Chivalry of a Failed Knight and Asterisk War, although pretty much carbon copies in the tournament sense, still kept me entertained enough to keep me watching for the entire season. And I think that's because there is actually quite a lot of enjoyment to be found in watching the protagonist face multiple consecutive challenges over a short period of time. Since we want to see the protagonist succeed, getting to see them do so on multiple occasions over the short span of each stage of the tournament, and in their typical heroic fashion, is something that, put simply, is just fun to watch. But that's not the only reason why the tournament arc can be so entertaining either. There are other elements to it that I'd like to highlight using My Hero Academia's Sports Festival arc. Now, if you haven't seen the first 5 episodes of the second season, the rest of this video will contain minor spoilers of that. So, the first aspect of the tournament arc is the ability to give character development to the ensemble cast in a simple manner that doesn't require context. Up until the end of the first season, we only really knew Deku's reasoning for becoming a hero, whereas many of the other characters remained a mystery or just didn't matter. But over the course of the first 5 episodes, we've gotten a closer look at Uraraka, Todoroki, Ieda, and even Tokoyami. Although we haven't been given anything as substantial as the expositions that we've seen from Attack on Titan Season 2, it still adds a little bit more depth to what were otherwise flat or non-existent characters. Todoroki seems to be the main focus of the first 5 episodes, since we do get to see how he performs, find out his relations, and get a look at his inner thoughts. On the other hand, we find out Uraraka's reason for becoming a hero, as well as learn that Ieda feels that same sense of inferiority that Bakugo does towards Deku. This leads me into the second aspect of the tournament arc. As it is easy to add depth to underused characters, it is just as easy to introduce a whole lot of new ones. And My Hero Academia takes advantage of this to the fullest by introducing the support and business classes, as well as classes 1B and 1C. Obviously we don't get to see all of them, but we do get to learn about a few, like Tetsu, Hitoshi, Monoma, and Mei. But for now, their purpose in the show seems to be to only act as an obstacle for Class 1A to work around. And that's completely fine because it's just as entertaining to watch the protagonists encounter a new challenge and overcome it with their quick thinking and wit. And it's also that sense of uncertainty that comes from being kept in the dark and unaware of the plans of others that makes the competition that much more tense. This was especially prevalent in the cavalry battle scene with Bakugo and Monoma. We knew from the beginning that Bakugo's team wasn't going to lose because, you know, it's Bakugo and he's number 1. But it still added that feeling of suspense that this team of people we've never seen before might move on to the next round. And although it didn't happen with Monoma's team, it did happen with Hitoshi's team. Hitoshi himself is also this wildcard player, and that makes it more entertaining because we know little to nothing about him. It leaves us asking questions like, what's his quirk? How did he make it to the top 16 if he's only in Class 1C? And that in turn makes us want to see him fight the protagonists. Which leads me into the third aspect of the tournament arc. It allows us to see unusual matchups. It's hard to justify having 2 characters on the same team fight without one thoroughly antagonizing the other. But with the tournament arc, they can completely bypass that. There's no need for context because the tournament plotline enables direct competition with anyone and everyone. Getting to see some of your favorite characters go head to head is something that is just pure entertainment. Take those Screw Attack death battles for example. Those videos are so popular because it takes characters from completely different universes who would otherwise never be seen together in any form of medium, and puts them in a head-to-head battle to the death. The same concept applies here. There's a certain level of enjoyment that comes from seeing bitter rivalries solved in an official manner, and it surpasses that of just seeing the typical final brawl. Watching Deku win the obstacle course without the use of his quirk, then seeing Todoroki win the cavalry brawl is all leading up to what we can only hope to be a final showdown between Deku, Bakugo, and Todoroki, and probably that Hitoshi guy if my predictions are right. But not only do we get to see bitter rivalries resolved, we get to see the subcast in action as well. Just like in the final episode of the first season, it's pretty neat to see everyone from all the classes in action and use their quirks in the manner that suits them best. Making teams to best complement each other's quirks and seeing them all in action together is another one of those things that are just fun to watch. It's exciting to see who can do what and who is better than who, and that's really what the tournament arc is all about. So those are the reasons why I think that the tournament arc is so entertaining to watch. We get more character depth from the underused characters, new ones are introduced, we see unexpected matchups and characters in action that we normally won't, and the action is consecutive and consistent. And My Hero Academia goes above and beyond all those to provide a tournament arc that is completely enjoyable, entertaining, and fun to watch. I don't think that I've been this invested in a tournament arc since the Hunter exam one from Hunter x Hunter. There's a lot of scenes from My Hero Academia that's reminiscent of the Hunter exam, in the sense that each round is a different task, sometimes it was individual, sometimes it was team, but there's also that extra element in both of those shows that gives it that little edge. And what I mean by that is that every character was unique. In Hunter x Hunter, each character had their own skill that made them a powerful ally or opponent based on the way that they used their nen. My Hero Academia, in its own right, grants individuality to its characters with their quirks. And I believe that it's the addition of the simple concept of quirks in combination with the randomness of the events of the tournament that gives My Hero Academia that edge over your typical shounen tournament arc. And from now we can only hope that the episodes will continue to be just as entertaining. So that's everything that I have for you guys today. Hopefully you enjoyed this new type of anime analysis video. I don't think I've done a video where I just talk about a relevant anime, so I figured that I'd just take a shot at it. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below, but anyway, as always, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this type of anime content, then you already know what to do. So until next time, ciao.